Good evening, everyone. As discussed in our meeting today, I've prepared a comprehensive schedule for tomorrow's trip to Liminal Land. Each of us will be responsible for supervising 6 students throughout the day. Please review the attached itinerary carefully. I've included GPS coordinates for our 4 designated meeting points: 40.7128 degrees north, 74.0060 degrees west. Main entrance, 40.7130 degrees north, 74.0062 degrees west. Food court, 40.7125 degrees north, 74.0058 degrees west. Central Plaza, 40.7129 degrees north, 74.0063 degrees west. Exit gates. For reference, this is what their logo looks like.
Very thorough as always, Eleanor. I must say, the architectural precision of Liminal Land is quite fascinating from an engineering perspective. The main structures appear to utilize non-Euclidean geometry in several areas. Particularly interesting is how the park manages to fit so many attractions into what appears to be a relatively small footprint from the outside.
Thank you for that observation, Richard. Now, regarding the rotation schedule, Group A will begin at the Water Adventure, Group B at the Mirror Maze, Group C at the Gravity Coaster, Group D at the Dream Theater. We will rotate clockwise every 45 minutes precisely. This should allow each group to experience all 4 primary attractions before lunch at 12:30 p.m.
Sounds awesome, Mrs. C. The kids are gonna love this place. My cousin went last summer and said it was mind-blowing. Like, he literally said he got lost in his imagination for hours. Can't wait to see what all the hype is about.
Please remember, Hutch, that we are there as supervisors first and foremost. Our primary responsibility is the safety and education of our students.
Of course. But a little fun never hurt anybody, right? Plus, I heard this place has some pretty wild stories. People say time feels different inside. Like, you can spend what feels like hours on a ride that's supposedly only 5 minutes long. Crazy stuff.
I've been researching Liminal Land online. Found some interesting visitor comments. The most immersive experience I've ever had. Almost too immersive. Felt like I was in another dimension. Don't go alone. Seriously, don't go alone. Followed by this picture of the place. That last one's a bit dramatic, don't you think?
This place sounds sick. I've heard the Mirror Maze is trippy as hell. Some kid in my class said his older brother got so disoriented he thought he was in there for hours. Turned out it was only like 20 minutes.
I'm most excited about the Dream Theater. Apparently they use some kind of new technology that responds to your subconscious. Creates a personalized experience for each visitor. Has anyone been there before?
I haven't personally visited, but I've studied their technological innovations. The park utilizes a proprietary system they call immersion integration. According to their patents, it involves subtle environmental manipulations that affect perception of time and space. Quite revolutionary if the claims are to be believed.
Let's focus on the logistics for tomorrow, please. Has everyone prepared their emergency contact lists for their respective groups?
All set here. Got my little ducklings all in a row. Though, I gotta say, putting Tyler and Mason in the same group might be asking for trouble. Those two are always up to something.
I've strategically distributed the students to minimize behavioral issues. Tyler and Mason respond well to your energy, Hutch, which is precisely why they're in your group.
Oh, you're making me blush, Mrs. C. I'll keep those troublemakers in line. Don't you worry.
My group is all set too. I've got the quieter kids, which should make things easier. Though I'm a bit concerned about Sarah's motion sickness. Should I bring extra sick bags?
An excellent point, Maria. I've already packed a medical kit with motion sickness remedies. Please remind Sarah to take her medication 30 minutes before we arrive at the park.
My group is mostly the theater kids. They're already planning to sing Disney songs on the bus. If I have to hear Let It Go one more time.
Better than my group. I've got all the science club members. They've been sending me articles about the physics of roller coasters all week. Did you know that the sensation of weightlessness on drops is called negative G-force? Because I do now, in excruciating detail.
Actually, that's quite fascinating. The manipulated G-forces at Liminal Land are particularly noteworthy. I've been quite eager to experience it firsthand and measure the sensations.
Look at you, turning a fun park into a science experiment. But for real, though, I heard people come out of that place changed. Like, they see things differently afterward. One guy on Reddit said he felt like he'd glimpsed beyond the veil, whatever that means. Spooky, but cool.
Let's remain grounded in reality, shall we? Liminal Land is simply a well-designed theme park with advanced technology. Now, regarding lunch arrangements, the food court offers 6 different cuisines. I've pre-ordered meals based on the dietary restrictions forms. Please review the attached spreadsheet to confirm your group's selections.
I've been looking at more reviews. There's something odd about how people describe this place. I swear the park was bigger on the inside than it looked from the outside. Way bigger. Lost my friend for 2 hours in the Mirror Maze. When we found him, he insisted it had only been 5 minutes for him. Probably just exaggerating for dramatic effect, right?
There is likely a scientific explanation. Disorientation in controlled environments can significantly alter time perception. I once participated in a study where test subjects in a windowless room consistently underestimated the passage of time by 40%. The human mind is remarkably susceptible to suggestion.
Yeah, but it's still iffy. My buddy Jake said the staff there are super strange too. Like they all have this vacant stare, and they all say the exact same phrases, word for word, like they're programmed or something.
That's just good training. Disney does the same thing. Still, I'm getting more excited about tomorrow. Should we set up a group photo spot? I promised the parents we'd send updates throughout the day.
An excellent suggestion, Lori. I've marked 4 photo opportunities on the map. Please ensure all students are presentable before taking pictures. And remember, no social media posting until the photos have been approved by administration.
I found their official slogan online and it's kind of perfect. Liminal land, where reality bends and imagination never ends. Sounds like my kind of place. Oh, and get this. The park was built on some old Native American grounds. Local legend says it was a place where the veil between worlds was thin. Spooky!
Mr. Hutch, please refrain from sharing unverified historical claims. We don't want to perpetuate stereotypes or misinformation.
Sorry, Mrs. C. Just trying to add some color to our adventure.
Actually, there is some academic merit to studying the location's history. The geological formation beneath the park is quite unusual. A series of unexplained magnetic anomalies have been documented in that precise area since the 1800s. Several scientific expeditions were conducted there in the 1970s before the land was purchased for commercial development. The findings were inconclusive but intriguing.
While that may be true, Richard, let's keep our focus on the educational aspects of tomorrow's excursion. Does everyone have their charged power banks for tomorrow?
All prepared here.
I've packed extra chargers just in case, and printed physical copies of our schedule. Old school but reliable.
Excellent preparation, Lori. Remember, everyone, the bus leaves promptly at 7:30 a.m. Please arrive by 7:15 for attendance. Any final questions before tomorrow?
Just one. Are we allowed to go on rides ourselves? You know, to ensure they're safe for the children. Purely professional reasons, of course.
Hutch, we are chaperones, not participants. Our attention should remain on our students at all times.
Right. Just thought I'd ask. Can't blame a guy for trying.
I do have one relevant inquiry. The park's website mentions staff members called Imaginators who are stationed throughout the attractions. Should we brief the students on interacting with these individuals? Apparently, they're part of the immersive experience.
Yes, I've included that in the student briefing documents. The Imaginators are actors who enhance the themes of each attraction. Students should follow their instructions while on the rides. But remember that our group leaders have final authority.
Well, I think that covers everything. I'm getting excited now. Despite all the reviews, it sounds like it'll be a day to remember.
One we'll never forget. Sweet dreams, everyone. See you bright and early.
Good morning, team. I've arrived at the location coordinates I shared yesterday. The entrance to Liminal Land appears exactly as depicted in the promotional materials. Although I must say there are some rather notable differences in person. The entrance gates are constructed of what appears to be brushed aluminum, Pantone Cool Gray 9C specifically. The main signage utilizes a custom typeface between Helvetica Neue and Futura Medium. Most striking is the entrance plaza's perfect bilateral symmetry. Please confirm your arrivals and proceed to your designated meeting points. Group assignments are as follows. Hutch, Water Adventure, Group A. TomTom, Mirror Maze, Group B. Maria, Gravity Coaster, Group C. Lori, Dream Theater, Group D. Please check in when you reach your assigned locations.
I've arrived and am observing some fascinating geological inconsistencies. Despite being built on what was documented as sandstone bedrock, the terrain appears to have unusual density properties. Notice how the concrete doesn't show typical settling patterns around the foundation. The ground itself seems to absorb footfall vibrations at an accelerated rate. Most peculiar.
We're in! Team Water Adventure is assembled and pumped. Tyler is already bouncing off the walls. Mason asked if we could skip the meeting points and go straight to the rides. I told him rules are rules, but secretly I'm with him. This place is epic. The kids' faces when they saw that massive water slide. Priceless! Heading to Water Adventure now. We'll check in when we're there.
Just arrived with Group C. I can't lie, this place is way too colorful. And there's literally almost no ambient noise between attraction sounds. Like each area is isolated in its own bubble. Is anyone else noticing this, or is it just me?
Got Group B all counted and accounted for. These theater kids haven't stopped singing since we got on the bus. But even they went quiet when we walked in. This place has a certain vibe, doesn't it?
Group D has arrived at the Dream Theater. The staff here seem interesting. Very polite, but they all have the same cadence when they speak. Almost like it's scripted.
Thank you all for checking in. Please ensure all students remain with their assigned groups. Our first rotation will occur at precisely 10:15 a.m. Maria, regarding your observation about the acoustics, I believe they utilize specialized sound dampening technology to enhance the immersive experience. The effect is quite remarkable. Now let's get moving, shall we?
Reach the Water Adventure. This place is awesome. The ride looks like it goes on forever inside that building. Can't even see where it ends. Kids are going crazy trying to see the whole thing. Staff just gave us these weird wristbands. Say they're immersion enhancers or something. They're cool though. Glow with this bright blue light.
We've reached the gravity coaster. The staff here really don't blink enough. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I've been watching them. The woman who checked our tickets held eye contact for 27 seconds without blinking. Yes, I counted. And there's something about the dimensions of this building. It looks bigger on the inside than it appeared from the outside, by a lot. The coaster track seems to extend much further back than should be possible, given the exterior dimensions we saw.
Mirror Maze staff just gave us the safety spiel. Standard stuff, but they kept emphasizing stay together. Like they said it 6 times in a 2-minute talk. Stay together! Stay together! Stay together!
Dream Theater is spectacular from the outside. Huge dome structure with these shifting patterns on the surface. Almost like oil on water, but vertical. Even my science kids can't figure out how they're projecting it. They keep asking the staff questions and getting very vague answers. The dream reveals itself differently to each dreamer. That's all they'll say.
I'm currently observing the central plaza, and I believe I've noticed an unusual staffing pattern. Staff members appear and disappear with remarkable efficiency. One moment an area is unmanned, turn away briefly, and someone is suddenly present. Likely a well-choreographed system to maintain the illusion of the park. Very impressive operational logistics.
I've been timing the staff rotations too from where I am. They occur at precisely 7-minute intervals, too precise to be coincidental. Also, I've been monitoring the temperature differentials between attractions. There appears to be a 4.2 degree Fahrenheit drop when crossing the threshold of each building, regardless of the attraction's theme. Most curious.
About to board the water adventure boats. This is gonna be awesome. The interior is huge, way bigger than I expected. Like, seriously, how is this all fitting inside this building? The ceiling must be 100 feet high in here, and it's all designed like some underwater cave system. Blue lights everywhere, making everything look like it's underwater. The boats are these cool 6-person pods, perfect for our group. Gotta put my phone away now. We'll update after the ride.
So this is odd. I was taking a photo of the coaster entrance, and when I checked the image afterward, there was a blur where one of the staff members was standing. Just that person. Nothing else blurred. See it? By the left pillar? Maybe it's just the lighting in here, but it's unsettling. The kids are excited to ride though. Loading onto the coaster now. We'll check back after.
About to enter the Mirror Maze. This thing is enormous too, it seems. Staff said the average completion time is 20 minutes, but it looks way too big for that to be true. The walls seem to shift colors slightly as you move past them. Really cool effect. Kids are loving it. Heading in now. We'll also text when we're through.
Entering the Dream Theater now. The lobby alone is incredible. Ceiling looks like a night sky, but the constellations aren't ones I recognize. Staff said each group gets their own dream chamber. They're taking us in now. The doors are unusually thick, like vault doors almost. Interesting design choice. We'll also update after our dream experience.
All groups now appear to be entering their respective attractions. Mr. Walker and I will continue our circuit of the park with our groups. Please remember to check in immediately after completing each attraction. We'll reconvene at the food court at 12:30 as planned.
Hold on, just before I board. Has anyone else noticed there are no other school groups here? Or really any large groups at all? For a park this size, it's strangely empty, just scattered visitors. And they all seem to be moving in the same clockwise pattern around the park, almost in unison. It's probably nothing, just an odd observation.
I've noted the attendance as well, Maria. According to the information desk, they limit daily capacity to enhance the personal experience, an unusual business model, but it explains the lack of crowds. The precision of their visitor flow management is quite remarkable. I'll continue observations and report any additional findings.
I've been tracking our cell signal strength throughout the park. Curiously, it remains at maximum regardless of location, even inside structures that would typically cause interference. Perhaps they've installed an unusually robust distributed antenna system, though I see no evidence of such infrastructure. Most peculiar indeed.
Hey guys, so we're off the water ride now. The kids are loving it, but I'm getting a strange vibe. Has anyone else noticed the lighting in their attractions? It's like there are no shadows anywhere. Nothing casts a shadow. Not the props, not the people. It's subtle at first, but once you notice, it's super uncomfortable. The kids haven't picked up on it yet, but it's freaking me out a little. Anyway, we're trying to find the exit now.
Hutch, please clarify. Are you experiencing difficulties locating the exit?
Yeah, actually. We've been walking for like 10 minutes, following the exit signs, but they keep leading us deeper into the building. Like, we'll see an exit sign, follow it around a corner, and then there's just another corridor with another exit sign. I thought it was just me being confused, but even the kids are asking why we haven't reached the exit yet. Hold on, let me show you what I mean. This is the corridor we're in right now, but we just came from one that looked exactly the same, and that's the 5th exit sign we followed.
Hutch, we're experiencing something similar in the gravity coaster area. We got off the ride about 15 minutes ago, but the exit corridor keeps looping. At first, I thought it was part of the experience, like some clever illusion, but we've now passed the same drinking fountain 4 times. I've been marking our path by leaving a tissue at each intersection, only to find the same tissue again after turning 3 corners, which should be physically impossible. The hallways seem to bend in ways that don't make sense, like the perspective shifts, as if we're walking in a circle that somehow continues downward. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening here too. The kids think it's cool, but it's been way too long now. I'm starting to get concerned. I tried asking a staff member, but I can't find any. Where did they all go? It's like the building is messing with my head.
Your observations are concerning. I'm analyzing the images you've sent. The architectural anomalies suggest non-standard spatial properties, potentially employing forced perspective techniques similar to those used in the Ames room illusion, but at a much more sophisticated level. The absence of shadows could indicate specialized omnidirectional lighting, though that wouldn't explain the looping corridors you're experiencing. Are there any other unusual sensory phenomena? Temperature fluctuations, air pressure changes, static electricity?
Now that you mention it, the air feels somehow thicker near the walls, almost like walking through invisible cobwebs.
This is extremely disconcerting. These descriptions suggest some form of advanced biomimetic architecture, or perhaps materials with unusual properties. The spatial disorientation combined with these tactile anomalies points to a deliberately designed sensory manipulation environment, but for what purpose? And far exceeding what should be possible with current technology.
Let's remain calm and methodical. Hutch and Maria, have you tried retracing your steps to the ride itself? Perhaps there's an alternate exit you've overlooked.
That's the thing. We tried going back, but we can't find our way back to the ride either. It's like the whole internal layout has changed. I swear we came through a large open room with boats, but now I can't find it anywhere. Just these endless corridors. The kids are still okay. They think it's part of the experience, but I'm getting seriously freaked out.
Same here. Can't find our way back to the coaster. And the exit signs definitely lead nowhere. I've timed our walking now. We've been following exit signs for 37 minutes. That's far too long for any normal attraction. And yet we're still in corridors that all look similar.
We're experiencing something similar in the Dream Theater. We finished the show about 20 minutes ago, but the exit hallway keeps branching into identical corridors. We've tried marking our path, but the marks disappear. It's as if the walls absorb them. Or perhaps we're not passing the same spot again despite it looking identical. I've never experienced anything like this.
Mirror maze is the same. We've been trying to exit for almost 30 minutes. The mirrors seem to shift positions when you're not looking directly at them, and the reflections don't always match movements precisely. There's like a half-second delay, barely noticeable, but definitely there.
Good God. Eleanor, what's your current status?
My group and I are experiencing similar difficulties. We entered the Enchanted Forest walkthrough attraction and have been unable to locate an exit for approximately 22 minutes. I've been systematically documenting our route, but the pathways appear to reconfigure themselves. I've instructed my group to remain closely together. We should all implement this procedure immediately. Group integrity is essential in this situation.
I concur with Eleanor's assessment. The phenomena we're all experiencing shares characteristics with non-Euclidean geometry. Spaces that connect in ways that defy our conventional understanding of three-dimensional physics. Has anyone tried using their phone's compass? Mine appears to be malfunctioning. The needle rotates continuously regardless of orientation.
Just checked mine. Same thing. Spinning like crazy. GPS is totally confused too. Says we're in the middle of the ocean? That can't be right.
We need a systematic approach to this situation. All group leaders, conduct a full head count immediately. Implement buddy systems within your groups. Document any additional anomalies and attempt to establish contact with park staff. Use all available methods. I'm still unable to locate any personnel in our vicinity.
All 6 kids accounted for. They're starting to realize something's wrong. Tyler just asked why we've been walking for so long. I told them it's an interactive adventure, but I'm not sure how long that explanation will hold. And I still can't find a single staff member. I've been calling out. No response.
All students present in my group. I've initiated the buddy system as suggested. The students are becoming anxious, particularly as we've now been walking for nearly 40 minutes, still with no exit in sight.
Group all here, but I'm really starting to panic. These mirrors are doing something to the kids' reflections. Their reflections seem to linger a moment after they move. The kids haven't noticed yet, but it's getting more pronounced.
All students accounted for, but the lighting in our section has begun to dim, gradually, almost imperceptibly. until I realized we're now in significantly darker conditions than we were 30 minutes ago. The walls seem to absorb the light from our phone flashlights, rather than reflecting it.
These reports are getting increasingly alarming. We appear to be experiencing some form of spatial and perceptual manipulation. We need to consider the possibility that we are dealing with something that fundamentally defies our understanding of physical space and potentially perception itself.
Let's focus on practical solutions. All groups, try moving in a single direction consistently. Select a direction and maintain it regardless of corridors. We will coordinate our efforts to see if this approach yields results. Report back in 15 minutes with your progress.
Okay, what the hell? There's something on the water. I thought it was a prop at first, some kind of animatronic figure. It's coming toward us on one of the boats. The kids see it too. They're asking what it is. I don't know what to tell them.
Hutch, what exactly are you seeing? Is it a staff member in costume?
No, God number. Whatever this is, it's not a costume.
Hutch, are you serious right now? This isn't funny, man.
Hutch, please tell me this is some sick joke. We're all already on edge as it is.
I wish I was joking. It's coming faster now. The boat is picking up speed. The kids are starting to panic. I don't know what to do. Should we run? Where do we even run to?
Hutch, try to find any kind of emergency exit. Look for maintenance doors, staff entrances, anything.
There are no exits. We've been looking for 45 minutes. It's almost at the dock. Oh God, oh God, oh God. The kids are screaming. I'm trying to keep them behind me. It's standing up in the boat. It's looking at us.
Hutch, please get the children out of there now.
It got off the boat. I jumped. I couldn't react fast enough. The kids. It got Mason. Oh Christ, the sound. His screaming. The tearing sound. There's so much blood. I tried to fight it. It just threw me across the room. I hit the wall. My legs. I heard them snap. I can't move. The kids are screaming. It's going after them one by one. I can't help them. It's eating them. Oh God, it's eating them. I can't look away. A humanoid animatronic gorging on meat near a bunch of unconscious children that are all covered in red dark paint. The setting is next to an indoor water ride, so like the river is beside where all this is happening.
Jesus Christ.
It's finished with the last one. It's looking at me now. It's coming. Please, help me, please.
Hutch.
What the hell just happened? Hutch? Hutch, answer us, please.
Dear Lord, this isn't possible.
I think I'm gonna be sick. Those poor children. And Hutch?
Everyone needs to listen to me right now. We need to assume that what Hutch described is real, and that means we're all in immediate danger. We need to protect our students at all costs. Find anything that can be used as a weapon, and try to barricade yourselves somewhere if possible.
I don't understand what's happening. What the hell was that thing he saw?
I don't know, but we need to keep it together. For the children's sake, are all your groups still with you? Does everyone have a full head count?
Yes. Mine are all here. They're terrified. They saw me panicking while reading the texts. I don't know what to tell them.
All 6 accounted for here, but we're still trapped in these corridors. And now I'm terrified of what might be in here with us.
I've got all mine too, but the mirrors, they're showing things that aren't there, reflections that shouldn't exist. I think there's something in here with us.
All students present in my group as well, but I'm increasingly concerned. I just tried calling 911. The call connected, but the voice that answered, it wasn't a dispatcher.
What in God's name did you hear then?
It was distorted, like someone trying to mimic a human voice, but getting it horribly wrong. And then it said my name, my full name. How could it know my name?
We need to get out of here. We need to find an exit right now. I don't care how. We just need to get out.
Guys, I think I see something at the end of my corridor. It's far away, but it looks like a figure, standing still, just watching us.
Lori, do not approach it. Turn around. Go the other way. Now!
We're backing away. The kids are crying, but it's not moving, just watching.
I hear something in the walls, scratching, like something's moving inside them. The sound is following us. Wherever we go, it stays right beside us, inside the wall, like it knows exactly where we are.
Stay together, goddammit. Don't split up no matter what happens. We need to keep the children as calm as possible and keep moving. There has to be a way out of here.
I think I understand what's happening, or at least part of it. The spatial anomalies, the impossible architecture, the creatures. This isn't a normal place. It's like the park exists in some kind of pocket dimension, outside normal space-time.
That doesn't help us right now, Richard. We need solutions, not theories.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sense of this. Everyone, look for maintenance hatches, service tunnels, anything that might not be part of the design space. That could be our way out.
The scratching in the walls is getting louder, much louder. Oh crap. I think whatever it is breaking through. The wall is bulging outward. There's a crack forming. We're running.
The figure is following us now, still keeping its distance, but matching our pace exactly. Every time we turn a corner, it's there at the end of the next corridor.
Eleanor, what's happening with your group?
We've barricaded ourselves in what appears to be a supply closet. It was the only door we could find that would open, but I don't think we're safe here. I've armed myself with a mop handle, though. The children are huddled in the corner. I've told them to keep absolutely quiet.
We're in some kind of office now. What the hell is this place? Sorry, but who the hell installs an office space in a theme park? No computers, no papers, just empty desks. Our footsteps don't even make an echo. The kids are whispering, but it sounds muffled, like their voices can't travel through the air properly. I don't understand any of this.
Are you safe in there at least?
I think so, for now. I guess not then. There's something at the end of the hallway, coming this way. It's not human. Whatever it is, it's not human. The proportions are all wrong. Its limbs are too long.
Jesus.
The joints bend backward. And its skin, it looks like it's been stretched over a frame that's too large. The children can see it too. They're crying. We need to run.
Go.
We ran through another door into more corridors, but it followed us, and it's fast. It doesn't move through space. It's like it skips from point to point.
Where are these things even coming from?
No idea, but it caught up to us. Emma was at the back of the group. It took her first. I tried to help her, I promise. I tried to pull her away, but its strength, it tore her apart, right in front of us. The others are screaming. We're running again, but there's nowhere to go. Just more corridors. More doors that lead nowhere.
Maria, you have to keep moving. At least until we've figured out what the hell is in here with all of us.
It got Jason. A single swipe. His head... Oh God, his head just... I can't describe it. The remaining 4 children are hysterical. I'm trying to keep them moving, but they're paralyzed with fear. It's not even chasing us anymore. It's toying with us, walking slowly behind us.
Good God.
Now it's taken Lily, methodically, one by one, like it's counting them down. 3 left. The children are scattered. I hear their screams echoing from different directions. I can't help them all. We're so screwed. It killed them all.
What?
All of them. I'm hiding in a supply closet. I can hear it outside, and I'm sure as hell it can hear me. Get the hell out of here while you still can. Goodbye.
Maria.
No. Please not again.
2 groups now. Slaughtered.
Guys, I don't think we're getting out of here. Not alive anyway. The mirrors. Something's in them. Look at this. This is Aiden's reflection, but it's not matching his movements and his face. Look at his face in the mirror. That's not his face at all.
What the hell is that?
And it's not just him. Look at the group reflection. Those aren't my kids. I mean, it's them, but deformed. Their bodies are all twisted, and their skin, it's like the mirror is showing what they're becoming, or what's underneath. I don't know, but they can see it too. They're panicking. And the worst part is, the reflections are moving closer to the glass. Even when we back away.
Tom, get your group away from the mirrors. Now.
We're trying, but the maze is endless. Everywhere we turn, more mirrors. And the reflections. They're reaching for us now. Hands pressing against the glass. The glass is bulging outward, like it's melting. Fingers coming through. Oh God, they're coming through. The children, I can't save them. They're being pulled in, one by one, into different mirrors. Their faces changing as they're pulled through, distorting, melting, becoming like the others. Help!
Tom, Jesus Christ. We're the only ones left. We need to do something. We can't just wait here to die.
What can we do? Did you hear what just happened to them? To the children. We're trapped in a nightmare.
We need to stay rational. If we panic, we die. There must be a pattern. Something we're missing. Eleanor, what's your status?
Still barricaded in the supply closet. I can hear things moving outside, but nothing has tried to get in yet. The children are terrified. I'm trying to keep them quiet, but they saw the texts. They know what's happening.
My group is still moving. That figure is still following us, but keeping its distance. The children are exhausted. We can't keep running forever.
My group and I found a small room, some kind of control booth. I've locked the door, but I don't know how long it will hold. There are screens here showing different parts of the park, but none of the footage makes sense. The spaces shown don't match what we've experienced, almost as if they're showing another version of the park, one that actually exists in normal space.
Listen to me, both of you. We need to keep moving. Find each other if possible. We're stronger together.
How? We don't even know where we are, let alone how to find each other.
Eleanor, I think that would be a mistake. Whatever these things are, they hunt more aggressively when there's movement. Our best chance is to hide and hope they lose interest.
And what about the children? How long can they stay hidden? Scared out of their minds? No, we need to fight or find a way out, or both. The 3 of us need to establish a communication protocol. If we're going to survive this, response times need to be regular, every 10 minutes minimum. If you miss a check-in, explain why as soon as possible.
Good thinking, and we should develop a code system in case our messages are being monitored or if something is impersonating one of us.
You think that's possible? That these things could pretend to be us?
After what we've seen, I think we need to consider every possibility, however unlikely it might seem.
Agreed. Let's use a simple verification system. Each message that confirms your safety should include the first letter of your mother's name, incorporated into the first sentence. Mine is E.
Sensible approach, Eleanor. Mine is M.
Great idea. Let me just say we're still moving through corridors. Mine is A.
Perfect. Now for locations. We should share detailed descriptions of our surroundings, no matter how mundane they might seem. Every detail could be important if we want to get our bearings.
I've been attempting to map our locations based on geological principles. Despite the spatial anomalies, there might be underlying patterns. My current theory is that we're in some kind of hyperbolic space where parallel lines diverge, meaning conventional navigation is impossible. Maybe observing materials could help. The walls in my area appear to be made of conventional drywall, but when damaged, reveal a strange fibrous substance underneath, almost organic in appearance.
At least I know what to look for now. We've been moving through what seems to be backstage areas of the Dream Theater. I've started creating barriers at key points, using pieces of broken set decorations. It won't stop those things for long, but it might slow them down, give us warning, and I've noticed something about the acoustics here. Certain areas seem to amplify sounds from far away, while dampening nearby noises. I'm using this to try and track movement. When I hear distant sounds intensify, that's when I know to move.
Excellent environmental awareness, Lori. Every child still accounted for?
All 6 still with me. They're exhausted but hanging in there. I've assigned each one a buddy, and a small responsibility. Keeps them focused on something besides the horror.
Perfect approach. Children need structure in crisis situations. We'll get through this, one step at a time. My group has established a base in the storage room. I've inventoried everything useful. Cleaning supplies, maintenance tools. Nothing profound, but better than nothing.
My primary concern right now is time. Has anyone noticed anything unusual with their phones? Besides the obviously ridiculous signal strength, my clock hasn't changed in hours. Still showing 10:47 a.m., despite what must be hours passing.
Just checked mine. Same. Mine says 10:47 too.
Confirming the same here. Time appears to be suspended, or our devices are being affected. We need to establish our own time markers. Count minutes manually if necessary. Here's what we know so far. 1. We are trapped in some kind of spatial anomaly. 2. Hostile entities are hunting us. 3. Time may be distorted. 4. Communication still functions. 5. The park is not what it appears to be, but we will survive this, and we will get these children home. Stay focused, stay alert, stay alive.
Even after all this, I still don't understand why. Why us? Why a theme park? What is this place actually?
Modern physics does allow for theoretical spaces, where conventional rules don't apply. My hypothesis is evolving. I believe we may have entered a deliberately constructed pocket dimension, designed to appear as a theme park, but serving some other function, perhaps as a trap, or a feeding ground.
A feeding ground? For those things?
It would explain the spatial traps, the lack of exits, the creatures that hunt in specific territories, like a spider's web, designed to catch prey and hold them until the predator arrives.
This hypothesis gives us a framework, but we need practical steps. Remember our objectives. 1. Protect the remaining children. 2. Find each other if possible. 3. Locate an escape route. 4. Survive. Focus on what we can control.
Always the teacher, huh? Even now. But you're right. And it helps. Gives us something to hold on to. I've been taking mental health breaks with the kids. Every hour or so. Just 5 minutes to breathe. Talk about normal things. Remember who we are. It's keeping us human.
Maintaining psychological equilibrium is crucial. I've been having my group document everything, taking notes on what we see. The scientific method brings comfort in its own way, and might reveal patterns we wouldn't otherwise notice. For example, I've observed that the creature that stalked us earlier only appeared in areas with blue lighting. We've been avoiding those sections and haven't encountered it since.
Excellent pattern recognition. Everyone should note environmental factors when creatures appear. Could give us an edge. Every advantage matters now.
Assuming I've been counting minutes correctly. We've been trapped here for approximately 6 hours. The children are hungry and tired, but we found some vending machines. I broke the glass. So we have snacks and water for now.
Smart resource acquisition. We've been melting ice from a decorative display for drinking water.
Wait, my phone is glitching? Anyone else?
Yes, mine too. The display is all warped and flickering in the corners. Colors inverting too.
Confirmed. Significant electronic interference. Screen distortion. Text appearing and disappearing.
I can barely read your messages. The screen keeps glitching out. What the hell has happened?
Hello, I can see you're all still alive. That's impressive. Most don't last this long.
Who the hell are you?
Someone who's been watching. I've been here much longer than you. Years, maybe decades. It's hard to tell anymore.
How did you access our group chat?
Your signals are easy to intercept here. Everything electronic is part of the system. Part of its nervous system, you could say.
What do you mean by it?
Liminal land, though that's not its real name. Doesn't have a name in human language because it's not a place. It's a living organism. What you see as a theme park is just its lure. Its feeding apparatus, shall we say?
No, the children. It's been feeding on them?
Yes and no. It's more complex than simple predation. The entities you've encountered, what you might call monsters, those are its digestive enzymes, breaking down prey for consumption, like stomach acid in a human body, but more autonomous. They take humans like you, and while some are consumed, others are recruited. These are examples of the people I came here with. This is what he looks like now. This was Maria. This is what she looks like now.
That's horrifying. And these are just the enzymes? Preposterous. No organism is that big, let alone having the ability to disguise itself as a built environment.
Your science is limited by what you've observed. This organism exists in multiple dimensional planes simultaneously. What you're experiencing is just one facet of its existence. The rides, the attractions, they're all specialized digestive chambers designed to trap and process different types of prey.
Why are you telling us this? What do you want?
I don't want anyone else to die. I'm not like it. I was a visitor once. Like you, I've been trapped here for a long time, but I've learned how it functions, how to avoid being consumed, and I think there might be a way to kill it.
Kill it? How?
Every organism has a central processing unit, a brain. This one is no different. It has a central mass where all consumption is processed, where the digested matter is converted into energy.
Like a stomach or a central nervous system?
Both. It's where the creatures take what they've harvested, and where the physical structure of the organism is controlled. Damage it severely enough, and the whole system could collapse.
Do you know where this central mass is located?
I have theories, yes, but I've never been able to find it myself. The organism keeps prey separated in different digestive chambers. I've never found a way to cross between them. Each victim stays in their own nightmare, but I think one of you might be in the chamber that connects to the central mass.
How would we know?
Temperature. The central mass would generate heat, a lot of it, and there would be a distinct smell, like rotting meat mixed with something chemical, something not from this world.
That doesn't help us coordinate. We're still trapped in separate areas, with no way to physically reach each other.
But you can communicate. That's more than most victims ever manage. And you're still alive, which means you might have a chance.
How do we know we can trust you? This could be another trap.
You don't. Trust is a luxury none of us have anymore. But I've been watching your group, and you're the first in a long time who might actually survive this, who might be able to stop it. I've counted at least 1,546 people who've entered and never left, while I've been here at least. I don't want that number to keep growing.
I think I might be near something important. There's a section ahead where the temperature rises dramatically, and there's this smell. It's exactly like you described, rotten and chemical at the same time.
That's it then. You're near the central mass, but be careful. The digestive entities will be concentrated there, protecting it.
If Lori is near the central mass, what would she need to do to destroy it? What are its vulnerabilities?
Like any complex organism, it's vulnerable to toxins, disruption of its metabolic processes, physical trauma to vital systems. But conventional weapons won't be enough. You need to attack it at a cellular level.
Are there materials within the park we could use? Cleaning chemicals, perhaps? Industrial compounds?
The maintenance areas would have what you need. Ammonia, bleach, industrial solvents. Combined properly, they could create a necrotic reaction in the central mass.
Lori, if you can find these supplies, I can guide you through creating an effective compound.
I'll try. There's a maintenance door ahead. We'll check it out. The kids are scared, but they're being so brave. If we can kill this thing, save everyone else from this nightmare, then maybe those we've lost, maybe their deaths won't be for nothing.
Boyd, you said you've been here for years. How is that possible? Wouldn't you have starved?
Time works differently here, inside the organism. It exists partially outside our normal time stream. That's why your phone clocks aren't changing, and why your batteries haven't died. I've been here so long I've forgotten what the outside world is like, but I remember enough to know this has to stop.
The dimensional mechanics you're describing, they're beyond anything in theoretical physics. A biological entity capable of manipulating space-time. It's beyond comprehension.
And that's why it survived so long, because no one believes it could exist. No one looks for it. The perfect predator, hidden in plain sight.
We're at the maintenance area. It's filled with supplies. Tell me what I need.
Look for sodium hypochlorite, ammonia compounds, hydrogen peroxide if available, and any acid-based cleaners. We'll create a compound that attacks organic matter at a cellular level. Let's kill the bastard. Lori, I need you to gather these specific compounds. First, locate the sodium hypochlorite. It will likely be labeled as industrial bleach. Then find ammonium hydroxide, commonly stored in blue containers. We're going to create a compound that attacks organic tissue. If this central mass is truly biological, this should trigger a catastrophic cascade failure in its cellular structure.
Found them. Both chemicals. And I've got some drain cleaner too. Pretty sure it's sulfuric acid based. What now?
Excellent. Now we need a delivery system, something that will allow you to mix these chemicals at the last moment and release them directly into the central mass. The reaction will be immediate and violent, so you'll need to be able to escape quickly.
What about these spray bottles? We could fill different bottles with different chemicals, then spray them together at the target.
That could work, but the range would be limited. You'd need to get dangerously close.
There should be maintenance backpack sprayers, used for applying chemicals to larger areas. They have better range and capacity.
Found one. It's pretty big though. One of the stronger kids will have to carry it.
Perfect. Now listen carefully. These chemicals cannot be mixed until the moment of attack. Fill the main tank with the bleach solution, then find a separate container for the ammonia. When you locate the central mass, you'll add the ammonia to the bleach and immediately spray the mixture. The reaction creates chloramine vapor, highly toxic to organic tissue, but also dangerous to humans. You'll need to hold your breath and retreat immediately.
This sounds extremely dangerous. For Lori and the children, is there no safer alternative?
I wish there were, but we're working with limited resources and unprecedented circumstances.
I'll be careful. We all will. But I'm not leaving without trying. Not after what happened to Hutch and Maria. Not after what happened to their groups.
The risk is justified. I've seen what this thing does. Year after year, victim after victim. It needs to end.
Okay, preparations are complete. We're moving toward the heat source now. The smell is getting stronger. These corridors are becoming organic. The walls aren't straight anymore. They curve and bulge, like they're breathing. And the floor feels soft, like walking on muscle. The kids are terrified. But they're staying focused. Two of them are carrying the chemical containers. One has the sprayer. The others are watching for danger.
The changes in your environment are significant. You must be approaching a transition zone between the disguised exterior and the true interior. Be extremely cautious. The organism will sense your approach.
He's right. The closer you get to vital areas, the more active its defense systems become. Watch for increased entity activity. They'll be drawn to protect the central mass.
The corridor just split into 3 paths, all identical, but the heat seems strongest from the middle one. So that's where we're heading.
Trust your senses. The organism can confuse visual perception, but temperature gradients are harder to disguise.
The walls are definitely moving now, not just seeming to, actually pulsing, like a heartbeat. And there's this sound, a low, wet gurgling, coming from everywhere at once.
You're likely hearing its metabolic processes, the movement of fluids through its circulatory system. The pulsing could be peristaltic motion, similar to how our intestines move food through digestion.
That's not comforting. Oh my, there's something ahead. It hasn't seen us yet. We're backing up slowly.
Remember what Boyd said. These entities are increasing near the central mass. You'll need to find another route.
There should be multiple paths. The organism creates redundant systems, like any complex biological structure.
We've backtracked and taken the right path. The heat is still increasing, but more gradually. The floor is definitely organic now, with visible veins running through it. The kids are trying so hard to be brave, but this is beyond horrifying.
Keep them focused on their tasks. Remind them that they're helping to save lives. That can provide psychological fortitude, even in the most extreme circumstances.
We're coming to some kind of chamber. It's massive. The ceiling is at least 30 feet high and completely organic. No more pretense of being part of a building. Just raw, pulsing flesh. Veins the size of fire hoses. And in the center, there's a huge pulsating mass, the size of a house. Red and wet and throbbing. I think this is it. The central mass.
That has to be it. The scale matches what we'd expect for an organism this size, and the vascular structure suggests a centralized circulatory system.
That's it. That's the heart of this nightmare. The central processing unit. Destroy it, and the whole organism should collapse.
There are those entities in here too. At least 3 that I can see, moving around the central mass, like they're tending to it, carrying things, like body parts, feeding them into openings in the mass.
Those are the consumed victims, being processed by the central system. This is how it grows, how it sustains itself.
Lori, I know this is horrific, but stay focused. Remember why you're there.
I'm okay. We're hiding behind what looks like a vein junction, planning our approach. The entities seem to move in patterns, predictable routes. There's a gap in their movements, about 30 seconds wide. We could use that to get closer.
How close do you need to be for the sprayer to reach the mass?
Maybe 20 feet? It's hard to judge distances in here. Everything keeps pulsing and shifting.
That should be close enough. The chemical reaction will create a vapor cloud. That will expand beyond the initial spray area.
Okay, we're ready. Emily is carrying the the backpack. Jane has the ammonia. I'm leading. The other 3 are watching our backs.
Remember, once you mix the chemicals, you'll have seconds to spray and retreat. The reaction is violent and immediate.
And be prepared. The organism will react. It will know it's being attacked. The entire structure may convulse. You'll need to move quickly.
We understand. This is it. Our chance to end this. To make sure no one else suffers. Wish us luck.
Good luck, Lori. You can do this.
We're with you in spirit. You're making history today.
Be quick. Be brave. You're saving countless lives.
Moving in now. We're approaching the central mass, moving during the gap in the entity's patrol pattern. Emily has the sprayer ready. Jane is preparing to add the ammonia. Everyone is terrified but determined. 20 feet from target now.
Perfect position. Remember the sequence. Add ammonia to bleach. Immediately engage the sprayer, then retreat without delay. The reaction will be aggressive and expand rapidly.
One of the entities just turned. I think it senses us. We need to move now. Adding chemicals. Spraying now. Time to burn, bitch. Oh god, the mass is reacting. It's making this horrible shrieking sound. The whole chamber is convulsing. Running! The entities are coming after us! Faster than before.
The organism is dying. I can feel it. The walls around me are decomposing, collapsing in on themselves. You did it!
My location is changing too. The storage closet walls are melting, revealing what looks like an exit.
Same here. The control room is disintegrating. The screens are showing static, then nothing. The children are screaming, but I can see daylight ahead.
We're in a corridor. The walls are bubbling. Dissolving like acid is eating through them. The floor is rippling. Hard to stay on our feet. We're running toward what looks like light.
The organism is collapsing. Its structure can't maintain integrity. You've triggered a systemic failure. Keep moving toward any exit. This whole place is coming apart.
The architecture is literally folding in on itself. Laws of physics are reasserting themselves, but the transitional phase is chaotic. Dimensional collapse in progress.
We just passed through what I think was part of the dream theater, but it was twisted, like looking through a broken kaleidoscope. This place, it's dying. I can feel it in my bones.
My group has reached what appears to be the entrance, but it's warped to hell, like seeing it through rippling water. Should we go through?
Yes! That's your way out. As the organism dies, the barriers between dimensions are weakening. These are temporary exit points. Use them while you can.
We're going through.
We've reached a similar exit point. It looks like we're seeing the park from above somehow, like we're inside looking out. Moving through now.
We can see outside too. A warped version of the parking lot, running toward it. The entity chasing us just dissolved, like it was made of wax and melted. Everything is coming apart. Boyd, are you escaping too? Boyd?
I can't. I've been here too long. I'm not sure I even exist outside anymore, and I don't remember where the exit is. I've been wandering these corridors for what feels like lifetimes.
No, we can help you. Tell us where you are.
It doesn't matter now. What matters is that you escape, that you tell others. Warn them about places like this. They exist all over the world, hiding in plain sight, feeding, growing. This is just one of many.
Boyd, your sacrifice won't be forgotten. We'll make sure of it.
Go now. The organism is in its death throes. The exits won't stay open much longer. And tell them what hides beneath the surface of their world. What waits for them in the spaces between reality.
We're almost out. The light is blinding. Everything is shaking. The ground feels like it's going to tear apart. Thank you, Boyd. For everything, we wouldn't have survived without you.
Status report. My group and I have emerged approximately 2 miles east of the Liminal land site. All 6 children in my care are physically unharmed, though severely traumatized. Current location appears to be an agricultural field. No signs of pursuit or additional anomalies. Has everyone else made it out safely?
Confirmed exit achieved. My group emerged in what appears to be a wooded area northwest of the park. All children accounted for. I can see the park from our position, or rather what's left of it.
We're out too.
Look. The organism is fully revealing itself as it dies. It can no longer maintain its disguise.
Dear Lord, the sheer scale of it. I've contacted emergency services, but I'm not sure what to tell them. How do we even begin to explain this?
I'm still watching it from where we emerged. It's pulling itself out of the ground and literally crawling into the clouds above. And there are bodies falling from it as it rises. Hundreds of them.
Those must be previous victims, preserved within its biomass. Released as the organism's structural integrity fails. This confirms Boyd's estimate. Hundreds, if not thousands of victims over the years.
I can hear sirens approaching. Police, ambulances, fire trucks. How do we explain what happened? What we saw? What we experienced?
We tell them the truth, all of it, with as much detail as we can provide. I've been recording observations since we escaped, documenting the organism's death throes. This chat log will serve as critical evidence.
Do you think they'll believe us? I mean, I'm watching it with my own eyes and I can barely believe it. It sounds completely insane.
They'll have to believe us. The evidence is literally ripping itself out of the ground, and we have survivors who can corroborate our accounts. Plus, Plus the bodies, all those poor people.
I'm already composing a preliminary scientific analysis for when the authorities arrive. This represents an entirely new classification of organism, potentially extra-dimensional in origin, with biological capabilities far beyond anything in known terrestrial taxonomy.
It's strange. I feel devastated and triumphant at the same time. We lost so many, but we killed it. We actually killed it, and Boyd was right. The world needs to know about all of them.
2 weeks since the incident, the children are in intensive therapy, as are we all. The authorities have cordoned off a 5-mile radius around the site. Military personnel everywhere, scientists in hazmat suits.
The scientific community is in an uproar. Paradigms shattered overnight. I've been consulting with a multidisciplinary research team. They're calling these entities ultra-organisms, biological systems that exist simultaneously across multiple dimensions, capable of manipulating space-time within their sphere of influence.
Have they found others, like Boyd said there would be?
Yes, 7 confirmed sites so far, all disguised as entertainment venues, theme parks, haunted houses, interactive museums, places designed to attract visitors, and to explain away any strange disappearances.
I've been asked to provide detailed testimony next week for a special congressional hearing. They're forming a new agency, specifically to locate and neutralize these entities.
They've asked me too, to describe how we killed it, the central mass, the chemical compound, everything. It's still so hard to talk about, but I know I have to.
The compound we use has been refined into a more stable delivery system. Special forces teams are being equipped with it for deployment against other confirmed ultra-organisms. They're calling it Operation Liminal.
Have either of you been to visit the families of the children we lost?
Yesterday, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Harder than facing that thing. But their reaction wasn't what I expected.
Mine neither. They didn't blame us. They called their children heroes.
Exactly. One mother hugged me, said her daughter's sacrifice saved countless lives, that she was proud. How can they be so strong when I can barely hold myself together?
They're processing their grief differently. Finding meaning helps, and they're right. Those children are heroes, as was Boyd. I wonder what became of him.
Recovery teams found no trace as the organism collapsed. He likely perished within it. But without him, none of us would have survived.
I've been thinking about him a lot, trapped in there for years, watching so many die, yet still finding the courage to help strangers. I hope he found peace in the end.
I received a call yesterday from a government official. They're offering us positions with the new agency as consultants. Did you get the same call?
Yes, I accepted. My background in biology makes me uniquely qualified, and I feel a responsibility to help prevent this from happening again.
They called me too. I'm still thinking about it. Part of me wants to run away, pretend none of this ever happened, but another part knows this is bigger than my fear, that I might be able to help.
We experienced something beyond human understanding and survived to tell about it. That knowledge comes with responsibility. I've accepted the position. We can help save lives.
The world has changed. We now know we're not alone, that the spaces between what we thought was real hide predators beyond imagination. Ignorance is no longer an option.
You're right, both of you. I'll call them tomorrow and accept for the children we lost, for Hutch and Maria, for Boyd, and for everyone who might be saved, because we now know what's out there.
Then it's settled. We face this together, like we did in Liminal Land, and whatever comes next, we'll be ready. Now, before that, how does coffee sound?